morning. Today I will read Genesis chapter 30. In chapter 29 we saw how because of Laban, Jacob married with Leah and Rahel, with Leah too. And he must work another 7 years. He tricked, Laban tricked his nephew, Jacob. Okay, now, at the end of the chapter, we saw that when the Lord saw that Leah was not loved, he opened her womb, but Rachel was barren. So she gave birth to Reuben, Simeon, Levi, and Judah. Then she stopped having children. Why I was asking why God didn't get involved before that happened. That to happen. I don't know. Okay, let's start reading. When Rachel saw that she was not bearing Jacob any children, she became jealous of her sister. They were sisters, but now they were married with the same husband. So it is not okay. So she said to Jacob, "Give me children or I'll die." Jacob became angry with her and said, "Am I in the place of God who has kept you from having children?" Then she said, "Here is Bilhah, my maidservant. Sleep with her that she can bear children for me, and that through her I too can build a family." Whoa, a family is not a husband and wife, or it's just a wife and children? Why? Because they didn't respect. But Jacob, it wasn't Jacob's fault. It was Laban who tricked him. What Jacob could do in that situation? Yeah, from that case we realize that even if he didn't say, I think Jacob was drunk, because how can you not know with whom you sleep? And in the first day of marriage, or how can I say that? So she gave him her servant Bilhah as a wife. Jacob slept with her, and she became pregnant and bore him a son. Does Jacob do the right thing? Does Jacob did the right thing until here? I don't think so. Even if it was a difficult case, I think that it was better for him to live was a mistake that he didn't want. He thought that is Rachel, but it was Leah. Yeah, a person destroyed, but Leah, the victim. But what he could do in this case? To ruin his life too? To ruin all of his life and all of his family too because of that? Sometimes I think you must take risks and cut it off what is not okay. Even if maybe we'll leave some traces. But Leah, I don't know if she was pregnant from the first day. But what if? What if? It is very difficult case. Jacob slept with her and she became pregnant and bore him a son. So the bad things are growing up, growing more. Then Rachel said, God has vindicated me. He has listened to my plea and given me a son. Because of this, she named him Dan. Whoa. Rachel's servant Bilhah conceived again and bore Jacob a second son. Then Rachel said, I have had a great struggle with my sister, and I have won. So she named him Naphtali. When Leah saw that she had stopped having children, she took her maidservant Zilpah and gave her to Jacob as a wife. Leah's servant Zilpah bore Jacob a son. Then Leah said, what good fortune! So she named him Gad. Another servant, Zilpah. So Jacob now would have 4 wives. That 2 of them are the servants of the first 2. This is not a good structure of a family. So she named him Gad. Leah's servant Zilpah bore Jacob a second son. Then Leah said, how happy I am! The woman will call me happy. So she named him Asher. We can make a list with them. So Leah, in the first year, it was Reuben. Second, Simon. Third, Levi. Fourth, Judah. And then she stopped having children. In those years, Rachel gave to Jacob Bilhah, and she became pregnant. First was Dan, first children. Second was Naphtali. After that, Leah gave Zilpah to the servant to Jacob, and she will have children. What good fortune! So she named him God. First God. Leah's servant Zilpah bore Jacob a second son. Then Leah said, "How happy I am! The woman will call me happy." So she named him Asher. It is not okay what they do. They are fighting, those two sisters. During wet harvest, but you cannot have a husband or a wife. It's just for you only. It's a personal thing, and that must be selfish. That is from God. The selfish feeling, it means that you love her or that she loves you. Selfish, or how can I say, just for you. That's how God created. During wet harvest, Reuben went out into the fields and found some mandrake plants, which he brought to his mother Leah. Rachel said to Leah, "Please give me some of your son's mandrakes." What are those plants? I don't know. But she said to her, "Wasn't it enough that you took away my husband? Will you take my son's mandrakes too?" "Very well," Rachel said. "He can sleep with you tonight in return for your son's mandrakes." So when Jacob came in, in front of Jacob, I think Rachel was more close than Leah. So when Jacob came in from the fields that evening, Leah went out to meet him. "You must sleep with me," she said. "I have hired you with my son's mandrakes." Wow. So wasn't Jacob husband for Leah and Rachel too? But what is happening here? Rachel was with, so Leah was in plus there. It is not good. It never been. So a marriage must be just one man and one woman. No one else. So he slept with her that night. God listened to Leah, and she became pregnant and bore Jacob a fifth son. Oh, so she couldn't have a son, but now she can again. Even if she's a bit older, maybe not older, a bit, took some ages, some years. Some year passed, or how can I say? Then Leah said, "God has rewarded me for giving my servant to my husband." So she named him Issachar. Issachar, yeah. Leah conceived again and bore Jacob a sixth son. Then Leah said, God has presented me with a precious gift. This time my husband will treat me with honor because I have bore him 6 sons. So she named him Zebulun. Zebulun. In Romanian, Zabulon. It's translated Zebulun. Sometime later, she gave birth to a daughter and named her Dinah. Later, maybe it took some year, 1 year or more. Dinah. Then God remembered Rachel. Just then, what is happening? Why, God, what is doing? Rachel. He listened to her and opened her womb. She became pregnant and gave birth to a son and said, God has taken away my disgrace. She named him Joseph. And said, may the Lord add to me another son. Now what could she do? To to send away the Bilhah. But Leah had a servant too, Zilpah. So, yeah, it is very difficult. After Rachel gave birth to Joseph, Jacob said to Laban, send me on my way so I can go back to my own homeland. Give me my wives and children for whom I have served you, and I will be on my way. You know how much work I've done for you. But Laban said to him, if I have found favor in your eyes, please stay. I have learned by divination that the Lord has blessed me because of you. He added, name your wages, and I will pay them. Laban is the same person. A tricker, like a serpent to trick Jacob. Jacob said to him, you know how I have worked for you and how your livestock has fared under my care. The little you had before I came has increased greatly, and the Lord has blessed you wherever I have been. But now, when may I do something for my own household? What shall I give you? He asked. Don't give me anything, Jacob replied. But if you will do this one thing for me, Jacob, it's Jacob. I mean, Jacob is not, he tricked Esau, so now he was tricked by Laban. Maybe God made that, let that to happen. But he didn't treat Esau, with the blessing. It was her mother too who helped him. But here she had the idea. Here, maybe that's why. But if you will do this one thing for me, I will go on tending your flocks and watching over them. Let me go through all your flocks today and remove from them every speckled or spotted sheep, every dark-colored lamb, and every spotted or speckled goat. They will be my wages, and my honesty will testify for me in the future. Whenever you check on the wages you have paid me, any goat in my possession that is not speckled or spotted, or any lamb that is not dark-colored, will be considered stolen. Agreed, said Laban. Let it be as you have said. That same day he removed all the male goats that were streaked or spotted, and all the speckled or spotted female goats, all that had white or on them, and all the dark colored lambs, and he placed them in the care of his sons. Then he put a 3-day journey between himself and Jacob, while Jacob continued to tend the rest of Laban's flock. Jacob, however, took fresh-cut branches from poplar, almond and plane trees and made white stripes on them by peeling the bark and exposing the white inner wood of the branches. He knew already some tricks. Then he placed the peeled branches in all the watering troughs, so that they would be directly in front of the flocks when they came to drink. When the flocks were in heat and came to drink, they mated in front of the branches, and they bore young that were streaked or speckled or spotted. Wow! What kind of trick is that? It is very interesting. It would happen at human too. But I don't think so. Jacob set apart the young of the flock by themselves, but made the rest face that streaked and dark-colored animals that belonged to Laban. Thus he made separate flocks for himself, and did not put them with Laban's animals. Whenever the stronger females were in heat, Jacob would place the branches in the troughs in front of the animals, so they would mate near the branches. But if the animals were weak, he would not place them there. So the weak animals went to Laban, and the strong ones to Jacob. Wow, he was the master there, so he could do anything just to check the thing that they agreed, that Laban agreed. In this way the man grew exceedingly prosperous, and came to own large flocks, and maid servants, and men servants, and camels, and donkeys. Whoa! It is very interesting. But God was with Jacob. So, yeah, God was watching over him. And his children too. Yeah, his children too. I saw a verse. And he placed them in the care of his sons. He and his family were there, and he put his sons to at working. Okay, there was the chapter Polygamy, it is not okay. It's never been, had never been. All the examples are not okay from the Bible, and I think from the reality too. It cannot be okay. You cannot love two girls at the same, or two boys. It happened, but here just two girls. Or a girl cannot share his love with anyone else, even with her sister. No. Okay. May the God bless me and protect me and enlighten me in the next chapter 2. And if God wants, you will see me there too. Goodbye.